Hello everybody. Today we're going to be doing the summer tour for 2025 on the Carnivorous plant collection. So as you can see, I've done a lot of repots, so everything's looking pretty nice, and some stuff, so like all the extra divisions and some plants that I'm just not really interested in keeping anymore, I've split up and put over here. So everything over here except these like large pots are for sale. So I think what I'm gonna do is in the description I'll put a link to a Google spreadsheet, and I'll list everything that's for sale along with its price and sizes and that kind of thing. So if you're interested, you can go down there, and then from the spreadsheet you'll be able to contact me from like Discord or probably Facebook, and you can get in touch if you want to buy anything. But it's just a lot of mature stuff. So like some of these, which like this Sarracenia down here, these guys are kind of too small to sell, so I'll probably just like throw these in freebies. I'll probably do a lot of freebies if you do if you buy some stuff. But yeah, so I'll go through those at the end of the video. But for now, we'll just do the normal collection tour. Everything's looking pretty good this year. It hasn't been insanely hot. It's been a lot of days that are like into the 80s, high 80s even, but nothing too crazy. And they've been getting a ton of rain recently, so they're all pretty cleaned up, and they are still kind of messy from the repots. A lot of these repots happened like for anywhere from like a week ago to like 2-3 weeks ago, so they haven't had a bunch of time to grow into them. But like for example, this Heliamphora, this was the first one I repotted. You can see it's definitely starting to grow now, so yeah, we'll just go through them. So the Heliamphora is looking great. Alien, this one's looking incredible now. I think the tissue culture thing, because a lot of these were tissue culture, I believe. I think they're all tissue culture actually. That first year they just didn't really do anything, and now they're doing really well now. This is like my largest alien I've had. Still not, anything crazy, but pretty good for alien. Really nice looking pot now. Antonom 225, so this is that new, well, kind of new giant, and it's putting on size crazy quick. When I got it like a year and a half ago, I'd say, it was like this size. So it's like, by next year it'll probably have a flower. And then we got our air werewolf, so we got 1, 2, 3, and Handy. These guys are doing pretty good. The 1 is, doing its thing where it stays pretty small, but 2 starting to put on some size now. Oh, don't go back there. 3, it's got some divisions. And then the Hanny, it's also got a division, so now it's 2. B52, classic. Nothing crazy. This guy has been doing amazing too. Look how beautiful it is. There's a car going by. Usually this guy was like down on the ground, but now it's all super erect and just looks really nice. BCP X11, this guy could probably use a repot. Z11, pretty standard. Bimbo, I didn't want to repot this guy just because how crazy big this guy got last year. So I'm hoping that it'll get going again. It is looking like it's getting kind of large. Bloody Nurse, Bloop, Carboni Ardenti. It's looking okay. Equinox. It's kind of like a werewolf, but still nothing spectacular from that guy. Rottweiler, was another werewolf. Colorado Giant. This one's probably one of my favorite traps so far. Of course, it's just a typical, but just looking really nice and decent size. Dambala. Some of these have had live sphagnum take. I don't know how that got into my sphagnum, but here comes the cicadas. I'm not sure how that got in there, but hopefully it takes, because I'd love some live sphagnum out here. Dark Night. This is supposed to be a really dark one, and it grows really quick. I mean, all those divisions take. So I've got like 4 plants in there. DCXL. It's probably a little past the prime for DCXL. It usually does its stuff in the beginning of the year. Demogorgon. This is one I did a rhizome split on. So, and I think that has some growth down in there. Not sure if you can see it. But yeah, this one's been pretty interesting. Dominus Noster. This one's had some crazy scaling on the leaves. Double Green, still doing its variegation stuff. Dreamsicle. Emperor. Fangzon. Fouchard. Fiamma. Finally putting on some size. This one's really similar to the Carboni or Denti. They just like rarely have nice traps, which kind of sucks because they're really cool. Finetooth X Red. Crimson Sawtooth. Still one of my favorites. I mean, you just cannot beat that trap. It's so cool. Flaming Lips. Maroon Monster. That one's got a lot of live spag in there. Fuzzy Teeth. This guy's just like buried. So next is Giant Clam. A lot of these have been getting tripped by the water from all the rain as well, so that might be why they're not like super open. Giant Microdente. I do like this one. It gets like really yellow traps for some reason. Giant Peach. GJ Giant Form. This one's getting pretty big as well. Just wish the traps were open. GJ Goliath. GJ Green Schupensteel. So cool. The like white traps. I mean, the petioles are awesome too. I like how thin they are. It's like a vine. Green Zebra. This guy isn't variegated for me, but it does grow really good, so I opted to keep it. Montecore, just a classic. Phalanx, another classic. Shere Khan. Hope this guy grows a little more for me this year because I feel like it's always been tiny since I got it. Stegosaurus. Gremlin. Hammerhead. With the hammerhead traps that it makes when it feels like it. Iris. This one's finally been doing its thing with the coloring a little bit. Hoping that like if it gets a little older, it'll start doing it more, but I mean, you can kind of see like what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to have that white line down the middle and then a bit level like red flaring out like a eyeball. Or I guess that's more like a snake eye or a cat eye or something, I don't know, but Jaw Smiley. Need to divide this guy, but I wanted to wait a little bit for that smaller trap to develop more, but I don't know, I should probably repot it. King Henry, lanky as ever, along with La Grossa Guigui, the lankiest ever. Lauchipates. This guy wasn't doing very good, but I repotted and it seems to be doing much better, so that's great. Lust. Every single update I do on this guy, it seems to get longer and longer, so that's great. It's supposed to be a red La Grossa Guigui. Mania. I don't think I've done an update on this guy since it's been doing well, but you can see like the traps are kind of doing their thing now, where they have like a melted appearance. It's pretty interesting. Murex mirror. This guy doesn't do the mirroring until later in the year. Moon traps. Pretty classic. Mutant 1. And I hate having to move the traps out of the way because they always want to go like inside another trap on the weird guys. Payara with all those babies, that's crazy. Plumachan, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, it has a little bit of doubled up teeth, but nothing crazy still. I feel like this guy hasn't gotten any bigger either, but it does have some more divisions. Hermes 1 and 2. These guys are both so tiny, I just put them in the same pot. Just got to make sure to split them up once they get big, but I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon. Hermes 2 is doing a lot better now, so that's good, because that's the expensive one, I think. Red micro teeth. Red sangria. I feel like I used to have bigger divisions of this, but maybe not. Maybe they just, I don't know. Ramon, still pretty boring for now. Royal Red. This guy's kind of like Crimson Sawtooth if it was not a sawtooth. Now to the little nub over here. Scarletine. This guy did not like the repot, as you can tell. But that's okay, because it tends to do better later in the year for me anyway. Schupensteel. This guy's got really thin petioles as well now, just like the green Schupensteel. I mean, look how, like, that's crazy scaling. That just looks so odd. Like, how is this guy even getting enough light with that thin of a leaf? Southwest Giant. It's hard to tell which traps belong to who over in this like chunk, cause like they're all just lanky. So whatever, we'll just skip it. St. Patrick's Beard. This guy's been making pom-poms since it's like a year or two ago, which is awesome. Some of the little ones aren't, but I think they will once they get big enough. Look at that pom-pom, and it's so fuzzy. You'd think it's like kind of rough, but they're actually like quite soft. It's like a I don't know what they're called, but like the little balls that are fuzzy in like the craft store. That's kind of what they're like. Sunrise. This guy always gives me what is this, giant clam vibes? Reminds me of that, but like erect. Triton, always cool. Villarica, Bloody Nurse Fused Tooth. Vesuvia, Withiola, which is rotated the wrong way. There we go. White. Oh, look at that. The petiole is white in there. I wonder if that's just the rhizome or if that's just being funky, I don't know. Winemouth. And Yellow Variegated. This guy's been doing really good lately. It's still not variegated, but it looks cool. I mean, look how it's pretty tall for its size. This is my rubra. I think this is like one of the first carnivorous plants I have, so I always try to keep it around. It used to be huge, but I separated it into one plant because I don't want to keep a huge one, and it's kind of ugly, but I mean, it's got like elder treatment. Hurricane Creek White Clone F. Like, what is that, man? This one's a little better. But like, what is that? It's so ugly. I guess it's just getting too hot for it or something, because I wonder if it's got any phyllodia coming up. Oh, it does have a division. Got some different growth points. That's nice. Minor, I think it's Minor Okefenokee Giant. Yeah, Minor Var Okefenokensis Okefenokee Giant. Very slow grower. Oh no. What happened here? Those mealybugs? Let's do a little investigation in here. Well, I don't know where they're at. I don't see any like residue down in the crown. I'll go over all the stuff I'm selling at the end again. A lunchbox. This guy went small, but the traps are still beautiful, so that's nice. I'm hoping it gets bigger again soon. Man, what is going on? Something's like biting these guys. I don't like that. Reptilian rose. This one's looking beautiful. I don't think it's ever been this well for me. It's usually pretty ugly, but there's the Phyllodia. Awesome. This is I did a meetup I think like a week ago now, and I got some free plants. This one is known as splotch throat. I have had it in the past, but I combined a new one I got into this little bog garden. Some typical Flytraps, some Filiformis, and some long fiber sphagnum. Cool. This is the minor black purpurea. Oh, it's got a little bit of rot going on those old traps now. I guess that's fine. Yeah, so let's go into the indoors where the Heliamphora are now. And here we are inside with the Heliamphora. The long fiber sphagnum for these gets pretty dried out, but I think it's doing a lot better because it's pretty moist a lot of the time, so that's good. But let's start over here. This is Folliculata. For some reason, it's been making some little juvenile pictures, but then it's making a mature one again. It's like, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it was just like a weird stress period, but pretty interesting. And it has 2 growth points, so that's awesome. I really want to make like a dedicated Heliamphora space because I love Heliamphora, but I just don't know how I can do it. Anyway, tequila. This guy is getting beautiful coloring now. It's kind of hard to pick it up on camera, but it's quite a bit like pinkish. It's not quite like amber colored. I think that's what most people get, is like the amber coloring. Mine's kind of pink, which is, I mean, it's nice in its own way. It also has been trying to flower. That's 1 flower stalk, and there's a second I cut. There it is. So I guess it is pretty mature now. This guy, let's see if I can, Chimentensis? Yes. This guy's doing pretty good. I think it would prefer a smaller pot, like the minor over here. I think it would prefer a small pot. A lot of these like lower Heliamphora just seem to like the short pots. But either way, it's got quite a bit of growth points in there now. I think that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it's doing pretty good. It's Ewok. I don't remember what it is though. Species Appendiculata. Doing pretty good. It's finally gotten over its acclimation period and it's starting to grow now, which is awesome. Can't wait till these like fill up their white pots. Minor. This guy needs a cleanup. Sorry. It's doing pretty good. It's finally gotten its roots down. You can really tell once they get the roots down in these large pots because they just start like growing like crazy. But you can see this one, look how tiny these pitchers are. They're so cute. They're smaller than a finger. Like, I really do love minor. It's such a great Heliamphora. But like, I do hope it does eventually get bigger, like to this guy's size. I mean, this pitcher is like all the way down here to up here. That's like 6 inches, 5-6 inches. Pretty awesome. I do need to split this one up, and I'm probably gonna sell a lot of the divisions. Sorry, I keep missing the camera for some reason. I'm gonna split this one up and sell a lot of the divisions for like 15 per. So if you do want Heliamphora, I would highly, highly recommend a minor. It's one of the easiest, put that in the light. It's one of the easiest species to grow, one of the easiest pure species. The hybrids are a bit easier, but I don't know, I'm just not a fan of hybrid Heliamphora, to be honest. So yeah, if you do want Heliamphora, these will be acclimated already to my humidity, which is 50-ish, 57 right now. So you won't have to worry about the acclimation as much. Of course, after they go through shipping, you do need to like acclimate them down, but this should already be used to low humidity, so it shouldn't be as problematic for a lot of people, especially if you plan on growing them out in your room rather than like a grow tent. This one should be pretty good. McDonald Day. This guy's got a ton of growth points now. It just exploded in growth points. There's 1, 2, the big one, 3, and then another one back there, 4. I'm not sure if there's any more. No, it looks like 4 for now, but I don't know what caused it to just like, the pictures are starting to downsize. You can see this was its largest, and then like smaller, smaller, and now it's got a really small one, but it's got a ton of divisions. So I don't know like what, if it went into like a different, you know, growth style and it's just like on division mode now, but either way, pretty cool. I'd love a lot of helium for a McDonald Day. Yeah, that's all the Heliamphora. So I'll list these ones, and then let's go ahead and talk about the Flytraps that I'll be selling. So we'll go outdoors for that. All right, so it's the next day because it got a little dark out and there's a storm coming over. So it's really hot and humid, and I'll make this quick. But I'm gonna talk briefly about the selling details. So basically in the description, if this is like an old video, then obviously I probably won't be selling anymore, but in the description, there should be a link to a Google spreadsheet. If you go there, you'll be able to see all the plants and their sizes and prices for sale. Hello, dragonfly. So it'll also have a link to my Facebook profile. If you can contact me other ways, like Discord or something, you could also do that, but that'll be the primary way to contact me for YouTube. And it should be pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact me on that Facebook or elsewhere. Just let me know. So the shipping will be $10 flat for no matter how many plants you get, and it'll be a minimum order size of $10 just because I'll be selling some pretty cheap stuff, and I don't really want to be shipping out like 5 different single $3 plants. So gotta spend $10 at least on the plants themselves, and yeah, that'll just make it worth it for all of us. Freebies, so I'll probably be putting some freebies in just about every order. If you don't want freebies, I know some people have like limited space or pots or media and whatnot. If you don't want freebies, let me know explicitly so I don't send you them, because I probably will give you some. They'll be shipped wrapped in sphagnum, like a plug almost, and then that'll be wrapped in a paper towel. If you've ever like seen the little sphagnum plugs, it's literally just like a wrap around the roots. I haven't had any, there's a storm. Haven't had any issues with that, but if you do have issues and a plant dies or something, let me know, and I'll definitely do some refunds or replacements on a case-by-case basis. Just let me know once they arrive, and you know, like send me a pic or something how it's doing. Sizing, so this one's a little up in the air because sizing can be kind of difficult with Flytraps, but something like this would be a large, or like this, or like these guys that are low. Pretty much every large will have like a flower stalk somewhere. So like this guy's got a flower stalk, there's a flower stalk, and something like this probably would be a medium, or this, or this, or this guy, and then the smalls will be like this kind of size, these smaller guys here. And then of course all the like unhealthy stuff like this I'm not going to be selling. It'll probably be freebies, or I just won't even give it away. Yeah, if you have any questions, again, just send me a message and I'll definitely answer if I can. Bro. All right, we back, hopefully for the last time. So we got even more rain, everything's out. But I'll go ahead and go through a few of these plants, just kind of show you them all, you know, give a little description of the cultivar because I'm gonna be selling them. So I want anyone that's interested to kind of be informed. So first up, we'll start over here. Dragon's Breath. This guy makes scaling on the petioles, and every once in a while, I think it's mostly during the spring. It'll have funnel traps. Actually, it might be during the fall. I don't remember, but it has a lot of funnel traps and scaling. Harmony, this one's pretty cool. It just stays green. It has nice short teeth. And I think it can actually close, but I don't really want to close it because it's been closing a lot with all the rain. Green Melody Shark. This one's a classic. It just never grew well for me, unfortunately. I think it's just gets too hot for it for some reason, but it gets these cool cylindrical petioles, and when they get big, they'll have like, they'll be really lanky. Harlequin, this guy makes pretty cool colored traps when it wants to grow. GG Giant Form. A lot of these I probably won't be selling just because they're so like buried, but when they don't bury themselves, they're pretty cool. Kind of like this. Cracker, this is like coquillage, but the teeth are a little more prominent. Double face, this guy's supposed to make pretty cool variegation on either side of the trap face. Mine doesn't really do it. I think it's just because it's outside, but I'd imagine if you get it indoors in like high light, you'd probably see that a little more consistently. But I mean, you can see at least how varying the, oh, okay, well that one just closed, but you can see how varying the colors are in the traps. This one's like bright red, this one's light green. Most of them are light green. Coquillage, just went over it, but it's a pretty small guy, pretty cute, but it stays really small. Solaris, so I think this is the one. It's supposed to go white, supposedly. A friend told me that, but for whatever reason, mine doesn't go white. Maybe it's because it's outdoors or something, but I'd like to see someone with an indoor collection get one of these and kind of try to get it white, because you can tell, I mean, it is a little like hazy almost. It's a little like of a lighter green inside, but still just not white for me, unfortunately. Low Giant, this is just a typical classic. Gets nice big traps and stays low. Kazar, this one stays pretty small for me, but it's that, I don't know what that is. It stays pretty small for me, but it gets nice coloring. Sinusuida, I'm not going to be selling this one just because it grows so badly, but it's supposed to be a really short teeth one. Werewolf, pretty unremarkable, just stays really small compared to the other better werewolf types. Ironically, the werewolf is the worst werewolf, but Akairu, also known as Red Dragon, it's a pretty classic red cultivar. This one just clumps up like crazy. Acheron, this one's kind of like coquillage, but grows a little better in my experience. This one's got a bunch of clumps down in there. If someone does buy this one, it would just be like this entire clump. Alright, BCP Z11. This guy's a little more of a typical BCP clone, but it does get really upright traps that get nice and colorful. I kind of messed this repot up, so this one's a little, ugly, but it does have a nice rhizome down in there. Air Werewolf 1. So it's just a red werewolf, but this one's the first. There's like a bunch of different air werewolves, but if you're curious, the stands for all red werewolf. Colorado Giant, just a pretty typical low grower. I do like this one. My Colorado Giant mother plant right now has been pretty good. I showed that earlier. Equinox, this one's a werewolf. It does a lot better than the typical werewolf though. DCXL, classic. Nice big grower, especially during spring. During this time of the year, it gets a little smaller, but double green. This is a nice green variegated. It's not really showing well on camera, but the petiole is a little darker green and the little like side flaps on the leaves are lighter. Also the traps are a little bit variegated as well. Fine Tooth X Red, classic. I just love this one. It has such nice coloring. Fangzon, this one is like, what's it called? Phalanx, that's what it is. It's like Phalanx with the long teeth, but the traps stay a lot shorter, and this one seems to grow a lot better, like a lot better. FTS Crimson Sawtooth, one of my favorites. Beautiful red traps with those nice green petioles. So cool. Flaming lips. This one, it's really particular, but it develops like, it'll keep that green band on the trap, like on the inner, before the cilia, but the cilia will go red. It just depends like on the weather, I guess, during the time of the year. It's not doing it now, but you can kind of see it developing here. It'll have that green band and the teeth will go red. Over here, GJ Giant Shark. Just as its name suggests, it's just a big shark cultivar. Maroon Monster. This one gets really red. Giant Clam. This guy's cool. It's really vigorous. And when the traps are open, when it doesn't get like 5 inches of rain over a week, the traps will be open and it's really beautiful. Scarletine. This is a variegated. This one's red variegated rather than green like earlier. Gremlin. This is a very quick growing all green cultivar. GJ Giant Form. This one gets pretty big. I think it was one of my biggest a few years ago. Maybe that was last year, I don't remember, but Giant Peach. I do like this one. I think it's a pretty low-key cultivar. I don't think many people like know about it, but it just gets like orangish traps, which I really love the orange flytrap color. A lot of flytraps don't tend to get that color. That's the only one that consistently does it. Well, I guess not consistently because it's not orange right now, but it gets really beautiful orange when it wants to. La Grossa Guigi, just a few divisions of that. King Henry, this is a pretty typical one, but it does do really well. It gets long traps during the summer. Red Sangria, just another red one. Southwest Giant, a big grower. Man, these are so messy. Triton, this guy's so cool. Still one of my favorite, most underrated collection ones. It's got those fused distal ends on the trap, fused teeth, and it stays all green. And it does all of that while still being able to eat. Here, let's see, it still closes and it can still digest well, and it grows really pretty quickly. Winemouth gets pretty dark traps when it feels like it, but all those traps are closed right now. So that's everything. Hopefully the link in the description works. Let me know, and then all the contacts and stuff. If anything happens, just leave a comment, like if it isn't working, and I'll do my best to fix it. But this is my first year selling, like online, like publicly on YouTube, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully it goes well, and thank you for watching. That guy decided to open lately, pretty nice. Love that reptilian rose too. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update. Probably this fall, if I had to imagine, but maybe I'll do a later summer one. Maybe like an update on how things are going with the selling and like what's available still, if there is anything. Yeah, thank you for watching.